This is one of the dumbest takes on F1 TikTok I've ever seen. Granted, I can't stand TikTok whatsoever. I think it's completely melted everyone's attention span. But let's get into this because I saw this yesterday. Got posted to Twitter because, of course, it did. Everything gets posted onto the website for me. You know, it's Twitter that's got a bad take. And as you can see, what this person is claiming is incredibly brave of them. I will say that. But it's also very stupid. So let's just watch a little bit, shall we?
Jamie Chadwick is better than half the grid on Formula One.
Let's discuss how terrible that take is, because some of the arguments she makes are absolute bollocks. And then some of the drivers that she says she's better than is just completely not true at all.
Jamie Chadwick is the UK's most decorated female racing driver.
Yes.
And she has also been trying to get a seat in Formula One for over a decade.
Yes.
She has competed in a range of motorsport categories, such as Extreme E, Formula 2.
That is not right. She has not competed in Formula 2. I've been watching Formula 2 since, was it 2018, end of 2017. She's not been in Formula 2 at all. So that is complete lies. So I will say this TikTok actually started out quite well. But then that's just complete misinformation.
And W Series, just to name a few. She has won the W Series 3 times now.
Which is now defunct, RIP W Series.
And she has joined the Williams Driver Academy as their development driver.
Yes.
She has such an impressive career.
It is good. It is very decent, especially for a female driver. The only more decorated female driver I can think of is Michelle Mouton, who's way better than Chadwick. I'm sorry, and she did rallying. But yeah, I think Michelle Mouton's definitely the best female driver, not just F1, just one of the greatest female drivers, one of the best, heroes for aspiring female drivers ever. She is generally one of the best drivers because she did Group B rally, which is probably one of the most insane sports ever.
Really outstanding results that really should have got her an F1 seat.
Yeah, I would agree. I do think she deserves it. No, I think she's probably earned it. Is probably a better term. I don't really like the word deserve because I do think it has a little bit of entitlement. Has she earned it? Yeah. Would I like to see it? Yeah. Why not? We haven't seen an F1 driver in a free practice, I think, since Susie Wolff in Williams. Unless you want to count Carmen Jorda or Jordo, however you say her last name, but she was shit.
By now, it is no secret that women are underrepresented in motorsport, such as Formula One. But when you have
although, in reference to women being underrepresented, and that both Mercedes and Red Bull, both their chief strategists are female. Hannah Schmitz and Rose. I can't remember her last name. But yeah, Red Bull and Mercedes. They're both have female chief strategists.
Talent such as Jamie Chadwick, they really should be getting that F1 seat in comparison to drivers like Logan Sargent and Lance Stroll.
All right, okay. These two are the most easy on the F1 grid to pick on. Lance Stroll, because he's far too inconsistent. There is a good driver in Stroll. I will admit there is a good driver in him, but he's far too inconsistent all the time. And the only reason he is there, I'm going to try not to make this into a Lance Stroll rant. The only reason he's still in Aston Martin is because Lawrence Stroll owns the team. That's the only reason he is there. I think after last year, if his surname wasn't Stroll, he would be gone. And I do think Lance Stroll last year cost Aston Martin probably a spot or two in the constructors. Especially how good that car was in a year. And again, with Sargent, I will say the same with Stroll. I do think there's a decent driver in Sargent. He's just making too many mistakes, and he cost Williams God knows how much in terms of crash damage. He was definitely leading the Destructors World Championship. And are we keeping drivers just for sponsors? Yeah, paid drivers have been a thing in F1 pretty much since the beginning, because Formula One if you didn't have a good background. Basically, like royal nobility race in F1 at the beginning, you had to have a good. You need funding to get into F1. Whether that's through a driver academy or sponsors, that's how you get into F1. Money does matter. The same with Formula 2, because, we've seen drivers in Formula 2 some decent drivers, have to, stop racing halfway through the season because their funding's dried up. So, yeah, money is a part of motorsport. It always will be. So, that's a counter argument to a point.
From being a fan of Jamie Chadwick and her being my inspiration when...
Okay, so we've got bias here. That explains a lot. I am trying to be unbiased here, I really am.
I was a racing driver when I was little. She is an overall complete driver.
Yeah, consistency is key. You also think that gets you into F1 is money. Consistency is good. You need the raw talent, you need the speed, and you need money.
Whereas Logan Sargent and Lance Stroll are very...
Right, Logan, he got top 3 in F3 in 2020, and he was doing really well in a Charouz in F3 in 2021. And I was in a Charouz, which is like one of the worst teams in Formula 3, and there's one of the worst teams in Formula 2. So there is a good driver in Logan, and I think he did get rushed up. And he did very well in his first year in F2, and I think he probably should have had a second year.
Unpredictable, and they make such simple mistakes that she would not.
How do you know that? How do you know that? Because we don't know how good a driver is until they get into an F1 car. Everyone, was praising, Stoffel Van Dorn, but he didn't do very well, mainly because he was up against Fernando Alonso in McLaren when they were going through one of their roughest patches in their history. Trying to think else. Jolyon Palmer, he had a year out when he won GP2, and he was pretty mid at best and awful at worst. But he's a very, very good analyst and pundit now, so I will give Palmer that.
Got that experience from those junior categories where they do not.
Yeah. Logan Sargent, I said he's done F3. He did 1 year of F2 when he probably should have had a second one. And Lance Stroll went straight from GP3 at the time, or Formula 3, whatever it was called at that time, straight to Formula 1 because he had money. When he probably should have done a couple of years in F2.
They got streamlined into Formula 1. Whereas she has built up her experience and is overall a better racing driver than those two in Formula 1. Here are the list of...
Right, this is the part of the video which is absolutely god-awful. Right, so the only two she can somewhat make a argument for is Sargent and Stroll. Jamie Chadwick is not better than Perez, even though he had a shit year last year, and he's had a decent start to the season. She's not better than Magnussen, not better than Ocon. She is not better than Lewis Hamilton, and even in the comments of her TikTok someone posted, she's arguing that because Hamilton isn't in his prime, I'd argue he probably still is. He's kind of like, he's peaked, and then he's slowly just coming down the end. There is no way Jamie Chadwick is better than just past at his peak or just past his peak Hamilton. There is no fucking way. She is not better than Hamilton. She is nowhere near close to George Russell, who almost dominated his 2018 championship. Which, funnily enough, you didn't. If you think Jamie Chadwick is better than George Russell, why didn't you include Lando and Alex Albon on this list? Because I think George and Lando, I think they're pretty similar in skill. I mean, Alex, I'd say, is just a little bit behind. And then Tsunoda is, we're now 2 races so far, is destroying Ricciardo at the moment. So I don't know if this is bait or she genuinely believes this, and I just think this video is misinformed, and well, it's just shit. It really is just shit.
Drivers that Jamie Chadwick could replace in Formula One? Let me know your thoughts.
No, I don't agree. Oh man, I don't like TikTok, and every time I see F1 TikTok, it is just full of absolute batshit takes, just like the website Falling Knows Twitter is, because, well, they get clicks and they get views and attention, which, fair play, but I just wish all this stuff with, like, everyone who has balanced takes and has a balanced argument, I just wish that stuff would do well, but it doesn't, because, nowadays you have to conform to one side or the other. You can't go down the middle, which is what this person, I think, is doing. They're leaning towards Jamie Chadwick should be in F1, which I'm not going to disagree with, because I don't really know a lot about Jamie Chadwick's career. I know she does Indeed Lights or whatever that series is called now. And she was like 11th or 12th, I think. So, yeah. Should she be in F1? I don't know. I just like to see how she'd do. We've just had Ollie Behrman in Saudi. He did very, very well. So why not have her in for like an FP1 session or something? Because Williams can do that, because you need a young driver. Just why not? I'm not opposed to it. Like I said, Michelle Mouton, I know this is going back to like the 1980s. She's the most decorated female driver in motorsport, not just F1 and rally, just motorsport in general, I'd say. Yeah, I'm going to leave it here. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it. Dislike it if you disliked it. And if you like this video, feel free to check out some of my other content, like my other content. Turn the rest of the site, subscribe button to grey. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.